Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you are able to turn your cameras on, we'd love to see you. There you go. Thank you. And if you can't, we completely understand. Folks are going to be coming in. I just want to get started because I want to hand this over soon to our featured leaders here tonight. Well, I'll speak about briefly in a few minutes, but I want to welcome everyone. Wish you all a happy Pride. My name is Andy Engel, and I lead virtual public programs here at Reimagine. This Pride Circle is by and for folks who self-identify as LGBTQIA+, and we're so glad that you're here. For those who may not be able to get a visual of me, I wanted to let you know that I'm wearing glasses, and I have a black shirt with different colored dots on it. And I've got a bright orange background behind me and some nice light pouring in. It's nice and cool in this room also. We're having a bit of a heat wave here in New York. I wanted to share a bit first about Reimagine for those who may not know. Reimagine is a nonprofit organization catalyzing a uniquely powerful community. People of different backgrounds, different ages, races, and faiths, people of no faith, all coming together to heal ourselves, our communities, and the world. We support each other in facing adversity, facing loss and mortality, and we're here to transform life's biggest challenges into meaningful action and growth. Reimagine resources, support groups, events like this one today are free and accessible to the public. This is made possible by the support and generosity of folks like you. So for those of you who may have already made a tax-deductible donation when you registered for our Pride Circle, thank you so much. Your gift will immediately support Reimagine's mission to help people of all walks of life transform the tough stuff into purpose and action. For the sake of time, I'm going to be sharing a link to our event description where you can read the full bios of our amazing leaders tonight. I will briefly say that Butterfly and Phoenix are longtime Reimagine collaborators who have offered their gifts as facilitators, as meditation leaders, as creative people to at least a dozen Reimagine events. That includes vigils, COVID grief gatherings, AAPI gatherings, and more than that. So thank you both. I'm going to be pasting some links about these folks too in the chat for you to read. Before I hand it over to them, I wanted to let you all know that we will be following up our session today on July. Butterfly, can you remind me what's the date in July we're doing this?
Yes, we have a follow-up event on Wednesday, July 24th,
There you
because
go.
Pride isn't just necessarily in June, it can be year-round. And so on Wednesday evening, July 24th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, there will be an additional circle. That one will have the focus with Reimagine's theme for July around grieving the loss of friendships. And in particular, the loss of friendship on the journey to authenticity and acceptance as an LGBTQ person.
You should take my job, Butterfly.
No, I think you're great at yours.
I pasted a link for that in the chat. I'll be pasting more links as we go along. Now I'm going to hand this over to Butterfly and Phoenix.
Thank you, Andy. Hi, everyone. My name is Phoenix Song, and it's such an honor to be with you all. If you have arrived late, I would love to see your faces. Again, if you don't have the ability to turn on, that's fine, but I would just love for us to be able to briefly touch in and see each other and just share eyes. So I wanted to start out with a poem to kind of set the tone for this evening's praise and grief and pride circle. So this is a letter that one of my trancestors, my Korean trancestors, wrote me. I channeled this letter a couple weeks ago, and so it begins, "Dear Phoenix, do you remember when I came to you in your dreams? When you cried in the middle of the night as you tried to be a woman? Remember the bad perms, the makeup, the stockings, the razors to your legs and underarms when all you wanted was facial hair and growth between your bowed legs? I held you and whispered, 'Be strong, I'm with you.' I stroked your forehead. I blew the dust out of your eyes. I drew you a warm bath. I sprinkled holy water across your chest. I knelt down and prayed when you forgot to pray. We are all stars, Phoenix. You have burned and reignited 1,000,000,000 times. Do you remember when we played together, blazing across the sky, laughing so hard that colors squeezed from our eyes? Do you know that there are others in our line, many others, who are what you would call trans? Our family contains many shapeshifters, people changing form, people changing their bodies at will. Before me, there were more. Our family knows how to fly through the night sky. We are birds in the highest branches, owls hooting and calling to our kin. Our wings flap to the rhythm of our heartbeats. We are octopus changing color. We are dolphins exiting the waters, coming onto land. Behind that tree, behind that clearing, and the first soft light of morning where images blur, you and I merge. Do you remember that you are all things at all times? You are the future, the ginkgo tree spreading and dropping its golden leaves. You are the past, gates that kept out tigers and thieves. You are the present, a gift, a shelter to all. Do you remember when I held you before you were born? You birthed me with your words. You gave me a form, a butterfly dreaming he was a man dreaming he was a butterfly. You give yourself form, a phoenix, a rebirth song that burns and dies and rises again. Your scars are wings spread across your chest as you soar. Happy pride, as your generation likes to say. Love, Soo-hyun, your Korean trancestor from the late 1500s. So I just wanted to welcome you all. We are here. Some of us have flavors more of celebration. Some of us have flavors more of mourning. All flavors are welcome at this gathering. And I'm just so honored and touched that we can share space together.
Thank you so much for sharing that poem from your ancestor lineage with us, already calling in that community, that family. And once again, as more people continue to join, a gentle invitation to have cameras on so we can be in this container together. And we also understand if that's not available or that is not supportive to you at this particular time. Want to invite everyone, if you haven't already, to put phones and devices on do not disturb airplanes so you can be present with us, with one another. Get yourself comfortable however you need to. And inviting you to, if you haven't yet, you're welcome to update the name on Zoom by scrolling over your square, and there's 3 dots, and you can add your preferred pronouns if you wish. You can also add where you're coming in from. We know that for now, everyone's on mute, so you're welcome to just say hi by writing in the chat if you like, just saying where you're joining us from today. Andy already added my and Phoenix's bios to the group chat, so I don't feel a need to say too much more other than it's just so great co-facilitating with Phoenix. As Andy mentioned, we are happy to be of service in various Reimagine events. Phoenix and I also have had the pleasure of sitting in Sangha together. And so we're bringing in our practices from various lineages, such as meditation, sounding the Dharma. And it feels significant to be able to come together in this way, to allow whatever is present for us to be seen and to witness that in others in recognition of pride. And I want to begin by offering up some of Reimagine's community agreements as part of us being able to form this container together. And thank you. I see folks are starting to share their hellos in the group chat. Wonderful. We have folks from Las Vegas and Burbank and Pittsburgh, all over. Also a thank you for the poem from John, joining from Berkeley. So some community touchstones. Confidentiality, what's shared in this space remains in this space. Everything is an invitation. It's not a demand. Check in with yourself and see if you feel called. Speaking from the heart, getting outside of the head, and if something sounds right or wrong, just an invitation to be authentic. Listening from the heart, also moving away from this paradigm of something is right or wrong. I feel like, part of queerness is breaking free from that binary. Again, there's no one right way. Everybody is having their own experience. Trusting in the silence. There may be moments when that's what wants to be in the space. Just keeping in mind, some folks may need more space before they share. And so wanting to make sure everyone has the opportunity to step forward. And we're all tracking that. Centering on your own experience if you choose to share. We're all individuals using I statements. No need to represent an entire group. This isn't about fixing, saving, correcting. We're all just in community. No one needs to be the hero. No one's trust in everyone's process. And so wanted to just check in with Phoenix. Is there anything you wanted to add?
No, I just wanted to check in with people. If you would like to add any additional things that would help you feel more present here to show up with more of your parts, if you wanted to write that in chat, or you could just go ahead and unmute anything that you all would need or like to be able to show up more fully.
Yeah, thanks for inviting that in. And thank you we see folks from Atlanta, Petaluma, Kansas. Tammy, yes, self-identifying as lesbian, disabled, proud as hell. We're so glad to be here with you. And I wanted to open up this container now that we have those agreements by just providing some context. Some of these touchstones, milestones about our shared queer history may not be completely new for you. And I find my experience is we live in a culture in which it is not dominant. And so I find it helpful to continue to remind myself. And that's the spirit in which I offer that to all of us. And so feel free to get comfortable. And I'm going to take us on a little journey that does not by any means cover all of it, but kind of allows us to, in community, review the movement in the United States for LGBTQIA plus individuals. And as I do so, it may spark certain ideas for you. So I invite you to write the names of queer ancestors, trancestors in the group chat as I share with you. So the first documented gay rights organization in the United States was the Society for Human Rights by Henry Gerber, and that was in Chicago in 1924. So we're looking at about 120 years now, or 100 years. And then there's the Mattachine Society, formed by the activist Harry Hay in 1950. And as we mentioned at the beginning, this is about grief and celebration. So this history isn't all like sparkles. In 1952, the American Psychiatric Association Diagnostic Manual lists homosexuality as a sociopathic personality disturbance. President Eisenhower signs an executive order banning homosexuals from working in the federal government, citing that they are a security risk in 1953. The first known lesbian rights organization in the US, the Daughters of Bilitis, forms in San Francisco, facing constant threats of police raids and violence in 1955. On June 28, 1969, police raid the Stonewall Inn in New York City, prompting protests led by trans women of color and Black lesbians, including Marsha P. Johnson, Sylvia Rivera, and Miss Major Griffin Garcia. This event has been recognized as the catalyst for a nationwide movement for queer civil rights. The American Psychiatric Association votes to remove homosexuality from its list of mental disorders in 1973. Harvey Milk is the first openly gay man to be elected to political office in California in San Francisco in 1978. That same year, he and then Mayor George Moscone were murdered by Dan White. White serves a sentence of 5 years in prison for involuntary manslaughter. Between 1981 and 1990, the Centers for Disease Control reports that over 100,000 people died of AIDS. AIDS is stigmatized as the gay plague. President Ronald Reagan did not publicly acknowledge AIDS until 1985. President Bill Clinton signs Don't Ask, Don't Tell, which bars openly gay and lesbian Americans from serving in the military in 1993. President Bill Clinton signs the Defense of Marriage Act, defining marriage as a legal union between one man and one woman as husband and wife in 1996. The US Supreme Court decriminalizes same-sex sexual conduct in 2003. So only 20 years ago has it been legal for same-sex sexual conduct. Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed in 2011. The US Supreme Court makes rules for marriage equality in 2015. The Trump administration bans transgender people from the military in 2018. President Biden repeals the Trump ban on transgender people in the military in 2021. And still today, this year, President Biden signs protections for transgender students under Title IX, and governors of states such as Arkansas state that they refuse to comply with the executive order. So as you can see, there's a history of progress and resistance, and how a lot is actually quite recent. So thank you for being with me on that journey, and I'll pass it to Phoenix.
Thank you so much, Butterfly. So that was a lot of information to take in, right? Just feeling it in our hearts, all of the ways we've had to fight for our rights, the celebrations we have, and then the setbacks, and then the more fighting, and then more rights and the setbacks. So I'm feeling a lot of emotion in my heart right now, and I can imagine that some of you are as well. So I'd like to offer a breath sounding practice so that we can not just hold on to this energy isolated, but we can really connect in and release some of this. So I'm going to introduce a concept, some of you know this, of the Brahma Viharas. So in Buddhism, the Buddha talked about flavors of love. So these are called the divine abodes of the heart. So the first one is a basic attitude of loving kindness, right? So when you encounter yourself or other beings, just having a sense of wishing well for others, sending love. So this is called metta. So I'm going to invite us to place our hands on our heart. And we're going to take three breaths, and on the exhale, we're going to release an ah. So this vibration of ah helps release energy and the intention of sending loving kindness. So this first ah, I'm going to have you imagine that you are sending loving kindness to yourself. So taking a deep inhale. Just feeling this vibration in your body and your heart of what loving kindness feels like. And sometimes it's hard to access loving kindness. So whatever your experience is, you're feeling a little numb today, or you're feeling angry, or a lot of sadness, just welcoming that. And then the second invitation is to place a hand out and to see everyone else on this call. And we're going to be sending this ah vibration of love to each other and receiving everyone's well wishes for love for us. So taking a deep inhale. And then just feeling into our queer, trans siblings all over the world and just all beings, right? We want to send love out to all beings and receive their wishes for love out. So I'm going to invite you to send loving kindness and to receive it back from all beings. Taking a deep inhale. And just feeling what this intention and this vibration of loving kindness is like in the body. There's a certain flavor. And then when love encounters suffering, it has a compassionate quality, right? So just all of those things the butterfly just named, and we can just think about all the suffering that queer and trans people all over the world are facing. We want to just send some compassionate energy. So for yourself, maybe you've lived in a family system or a society where it's just been really hard to be queer or trans. Sending some compassion to yourself, taking a deep inhale. To each other, compassion for our suffering and pain. And for all beings, sending some relief of some compassionate energy for the struggles and pain out there. And just feeling what the vibration of compassion, if our world could just offer some more compassion for all the suffering. And then knowing that there is also joy, right? The joy of being queer and trans, our successes, our victories, right? Our rights and our abilities to just be ourselves with love and pride. So we're going to send out joy to ourselves, right? So taking a deep inhale. And to each other on this call, celebrating that we are here, we are queer, we made it. Taking a deep inhale. And then for all beings, all our trans, queer siblings, all beings, just sending joy to amplify the joy out there. Yes, let's be ourselves. Taking a deep inhale. So feeling these flavors of love, right? Basic loving kindness. When love meets suffering, it has a compassionate quality. When love encounters joy, it rejoices and has a celebratory nature. And then when love encounters all of these ups and downs of the human experience, it has a peaceful, equanimous quality, right? Can we ride these waves knowing that sometimes rights are going to be rolled back and other times we're going to be pushing forward? Can we just sit in this for the long haul and have some equanimity and peace? Yeah, as we fight the good fight, as we love the good love. So the first ah is equanimity and peace and ease for yourself. Taking a deep inhale. For everybody on this call, making eye contact, sending ease, equanimity, receiving it back. And then for all beings everywhere, can we ride these waves, sending ease, peace, equanimity? And just feeling into these flavors of love that we're cultivating together. As we mourn and grieve and as we celebrate together, our hearts are spacious to be able to hold all of this energy. Thank you so much. I'm going to turn it back to Butterfly.
Feeling appreciation for Phoenix for guiding us through that practice of one gateway through which to feel the feelings, acknowledging that it's not always easy and there are tools to bring more ease to the difficult situations. And I was just inspired by something that Phoenix shared around how can we be equanimous with everything that's happening. And one thing that's inspired me is when activists across a variety of movements have talked about the commitment to working, being authentic for change, even if we don't see it through our lifetime, be trusting in the benefit for the future generations. And, I shared the very abridged selected version of our queer history. Some of those folks aren't alive today, and yet they made choices that we benefit from. And so next, I want to invite us into a compassion meditation to honor how each and all of our journeys have benefited from and contribute to this queer lineage that we're all a part of, every single one of us. And as part of that, acknowledging our queer ancestors, our trancestors. So I invite you to find yourself in a comfortable position, whether that's sitting, standing, laying down. You're welcome to have your eyes closed or open with a soft downward gaze. And there's no need to have any prior experience. I'll be providing instruction and guidance throughout, and there's no way to do this right or wrong. It's just about the intention of this time to honor this queer lineage. I'll ring the bell 3 times for us to begin and 3 times to close this brief sit together. So just inviting you to Again, to feel the earth beneath you. Mother Earth that supports such a beautiful variety of life, of creatures, of humans, including you in all your uniqueness. Feeling that support, feeling that holding, allowing your weight to be held. Whether it's your feet, your seat, both. And as you do so, an invitation to center your awareness on the breath, the experience of breathing in and out. Perhaps that's in your nostrils or your stomach or your chest. Just noticing the temperature, the cadence, the speed. And if for any reason breath does not feel accessible or supportive to you in this moment, you're more than welcome to work with sensation. Perhaps the feeling of clothing touching your skin and being with that. Inviting you to have your hands resting in your lap or at your sides. Noticing breath and sensation as your belly rises and falls. Nothing to control, change, or manage. Noticing breath and sensation in the chest and the heart space. Whatever is arising is welcome here. And perhaps you don't notice anything, and that's welcome too. Just breathing and sensing. And continuing the karuna, the compassion, feeling in the heart space as I name and call in some of our queer ancestors, trancestors. Saw in the chat, Andy is calling in Leon, Engel, and Warren Cronenmeyer, cousins, 58 years together as partners in life and in business. They ran an antique shop in Manhattan and found their own family in Vermont where they retired. He never met them, but recently uncovered their history. Thank you to Leon and Warren for choosing love in a time when it was even less safe than it is now. Thank you to Henry Gerber for starting the Society for Human Rights. Thank you to activist Harry Hay for forming the Mattachine Society in 1950. Thank you to the Daughters of Bilitis in San Francisco in 1955. During this Pride Month, when so many may just give Stonewall a passing mention, thank you to those on June 28th of 1969 who fought back against the police raids, the trans women of color, Black lesbians, including Marsha P. Johnson, Sylvia Rivera, and Miss Major Griffin Gracie. Thank you. Putting your bodies on the line, your hearts on the line to spark a movement that continues to be alive today. Thank you for letting us be your queer descendants, for creating the space so that we get to continue on. I see in the chat, Dee is saying, thank you, Audre Lorde. Yes, thank you. Thank you to that elder, that queen, that sage. Thank you to Cyndi Lauper, to artists, to musicians, to all the queer ones who have been so brave in being true to themselves. Thank you to Harvey Milk for putting himself out there to be the first openly gay man to be elected to political office in California. We grieve your death, your murder. We feel sadness and rage at the injustice that the sentence was involuntary manslaughter. We honor all those that have passed of AIDS. We're sorry that it was a disease that at first everyone just wanted to ignore it, to pretend it didn't exist. And then when they couldn't ignore it anymore, they wanted to say it was just a gay disease. May we honor you and all the elders who are still with us, who survived that epidemic. May we honor all those that have been dishonorably discharged from the military, putting their lives on the line and then being disgraced. May we honor the author, the elder James Baldwin, whose literature, whose portrayal of love cracked open so many hearts, who encouraged all of us with his words to believe that our love is worthy, that we are all deserving. Just want to also name Amy's neighbor, gay elder Robert Snow, who took the ashes of those who died from AIDS to the White House. Those who, in their grief, channeled it into activism, who transformed, to catalyze mourning into service. So many of you, those named and unnamed, we recognize you, we thank you, we love you as our queer ancestors and trancestors. Breathing, feeling. So at your own pace, if your eyes have been closed, you're welcome to open them gently, slowly, no rush. Bringing some movement into the body, perhaps wiggling fingers or stretching arms or toes. Thank you for honoring our ancestors in community. And I'll invite Phoenix in.
Thank you for that beautiful meditation. I just really dropped so much more deeply into my body and my heart. So just feeling a lot moving through me. I don't know about you all. And so I am a singer. I renamed myself Phoenix Song. And I really believe in the power of the voice to be able to sing, to sound, to speak our truth. I also believe that all of us are singers and that before we learn language, we are intimately connected with our breath and different sounds, and we're able to coo and babble and gurgle and scream, and that was our song. And so even if, some of us don't sing that much now, I believe that all of us are singers. We're born singers. Some of us just have more practice playing our body instruments now. So I wanted to offer two different songs to help us move energy, to really put these words as prayers, as our medicine into the world. So this first song is by Ali Halpert, a queer singer-songwriter. And it goes, loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. So we'll sing that one first. I'm putting the words in chat if you want to read along, and then I'll do a second one after that. So the song goes, loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. So I'm going to invite you to sing along with me, and if not, just listen. But really, for this first round, again, send this invitation to yourself to just loosen, to just let go of what no longer is serving you. Okay? Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Inviting you to sing it to everyone here on the Zoom call, to feel all the blessings. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. And then this is our desire for all beings. Can we just loosen and let go, singing it for all beings? Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. So I feel like all songs are little spells. So if you think about the message of the song, like loosen, loosen. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. So this song for me is just about softening and letting go of what is no longer serving us. And this next song by Batya Levine, she's a queer Jewish singer-songwriter, educator, activist. This song for me is about, well, what do we do now that we've let go? It's about creating the world that we want to live in, right? We rise, all of the children, rise, elders with wisdom, rise, ancestors surround us, rise. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. So I'm going to sing around and then I invite you to join in. We rise, all of the children rise, elders with wisdom rise, ancestors surround us rise, in hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. Together, if you'd like to join in, we rise. All of the children rise. Elders with wisdom rise. Ancestors surround us rise. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. We rise. All of the children rise. Elders with wisdom rise. Ancestors surround us rise. Last round, sing it like you mean it. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. We rise. All of the children rise. Elders with wisdom rise. Ancestors surround us rise. So feeling the medicine of this song, it's really a call to all of us rising, all of us, as we create the world of justice, of peace, of liberation for all. So just feeling that energy, the vibration of this song. We rise, all of the children, rise, elders with wisdom, rise, ancestors surround us, rise, in hope, in prayer. We find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. We rise. Thank you.
Wow. I don't know about anyone else, but that was like such a gift. I feel like I just got a free private concert. What a treat. But I'm reminded of how my ears have been trained to listen to tones and notes, and Phoenix as a professional. Beyond that, deeper than that, though, is the energetic of love that I was able to feel. So definitely grateful to connect into that. And I was also tuning in to the vision that was coming up for me was around how, as Phoenix was speaking to, our very existence and our authentic resistance is our authentic existence is resistance against all forms of oppression. And I was picturing, in the protests, in the riots, folks like Marsha P. Johnson, Sylvia Rivera, singing along with us, singing to us, singing our current generations into being as beautiful queer ones that we are. So really just so thankful for that. And we know some folks are more comfortable speaking in smaller groups, so we wanted to create some space now where Andy is going to organize folks into just small groups of about 3, I think, and that's going to be an invitation to just get to know your peers. Phoenix and I have been doing a lot of talking. It's your turn. And so the space is going to be open for you all just to say hi, introduce yourselves, connect. And we can share this in the chat, but like, you're welcome to talk about whatever you like, what you're feeling in this moment. But a couple prompts might be, what are you grieving during this Pride Month? And what are you celebrating during this Pride Month?
Butterfly come. So this song is set to Stevie Wonder's Isn't She Lovely? And the new words are, may I be happy, may I be peaceful, may I be filled with love. And then for everybody on this call, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, may you be filled with love. And then for all beings, may we be happy, may we be peaceful, may we be filled with love. So I'm going to sing one round, and I'm going to invite us again to just place our hands on our heart and just taking all of this good energy from our time together. And this first round is for yourself. I'll sing it once. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be filled with love. And then for everybody on this call, may you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be filled with love. I'm going to invite you all to unmute for this. It's going to be a little cacophony, but go for it. Let's get our voices out, right? Let's get our medicine, our prayers, our songs out together. Here we go. For all beings everywhere, especially those who do not have our good fortune right now to gather in these really beautiful containers. So for all beings, may we be happy. May we be peaceful. May we be filled with love. Blessings and gratitude to you, to all beings. I'll turn it over to Butterfly.
Wow. Thank you for that soothing balm of song. If it feels supportive to you, I'll invite you to join me in dedicating this merit offering, the soothing that we felt, the community that we felt, the healing connection that we felt, to all those that could not be here. If it calls to you, you're welcome to join me in bringing hands together in front of your heart, putting your hands on your heart, and just kind of feeling into and honoring your choice to show up, the choice of us to show up for one another, and the choice to show up for the larger queer community and for all beings. May we remember that we come from a beautiful, bold, courageous, fierce, wise lineage of queer ones that have been always dared to ask, does it have to be that way? Why don't we try something different? How about I just be my authentic self? And when we nurture our own beauty so that we may reflect the beauty of others and help them to see it in themselves. And when we know that in vulnerability and truth, we will find so many of our queer siblings and queer family. We acknowledge that not everyone has the space, the blessing, the privilege to be able to join us in this moment, and may especially those who are intersectionalities, like being in zones of conflict and being queer, feel that they are not alone. May they feel and trust that the queer ancestors, the trancestors, the queer siblings care for them, hold them, love them. May we all continue to work towards our own liberation, towards our collective liberation. May we root in the truth that none of us will be free until we are all free. And with that, let us also remember that we get to cry, we get to laugh. We're so worthy of all of it. May it be so. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Andy, is there anything else before we close?
Just a final plug to come on July 24th. We'd love to see you all again. Butterfly will be returning with his colleague Boshkovich, and so we hope to see you at other Reimagine events too. Hope you all have a meaningful and proud Pride. Take care, everybody. Thank you, Phoenix. Thank you, Butterfly.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.